I see a thing that I touch, tell me about talking stage, gotta tell her don't force it. Beef, man, pepper and salt it. Me and RJ gotta pull up, no pork in trap. You ain't got a...
So today I'm driving a Mini Cooper John Cooper Works. So this particular Mini John Cooper Works has 260 brake horsepower from a tuning box. These make around 228 brake horsepower from standard. So it's a nice little power increase, which definitely makes a difference to the driving experience. So this car has some very subtle styling mods from standard. So we have the really nice Romac wheels, which look a bit like an OZ racing wheel, which Kieran, the owner, said he really liked the look of. So these are just a different alternative to them. We have got the little spoiler extension up there, which adds a little bit. It's not too much and it doesn't look overdone. It's not like a GP rear wing. We have got the lovely John Cooper Works exhaust tips, which actually make such a big difference to the presence. Like when I pulled up behind it in the C1, it made such a big difference to like the whole presentation of the rear. Like it was a real like focal point for the rear instead of just being almost looking like a normal Mini. They don't look too aggressive from standard. And then that paired with the Mini Pro diffuser really helps to make it look a bit more like a performance car, because these do look a little bit like a standard Mini from the rear. They don't look as aggressive as I think they possibly should do. But those three little different things make a big difference to the overall rear end of the car. It's running on IBAC springs, so it's a bit stiffer from standard, which is in a Mini is ideal because it handles even better than it does standard. So it's a really nice, well-presented car that I can't wait to drive a bit more of.
Let's go for a drive.
Let's go for a drive. Look at that, like a proper rally car. The interior of this car is probably the most surprising thing. It is really nice. The gear knob is really cool and it can go into a sequential mode, which is very good for the rally car points. The seating position's really nice, and you've got a heads-up display, which is the first car that we've had with a heads-up display, which is plus points for the Mini again. This car is a 2015 model, so it's really well equipped when you consider we've tried cars that are much newer than this, and they've not been as well equipped for more money as well.
Sport mode,
you have maximum go-kart feel. That is excellent. And then we can go into green mode for low consumption driving fun. That is not fun. So sport mode is the way forward.
MPG
maximum go-kart feel. Let's get into sport. It is a quick car, but it's paired with fantastic handling. The ride's stiff, but it's not too stiff for British B roads. Like if you do go on a very bumpy British B road, then it will be struggling a bit. It will be a bit crashy, but utilise the other driving modes to sort of soften out the dampening and suspension, everything like that, to make it just a bit more easy to manage on roads like these. Brakes are fantastic. These don't have any like a fast road pad or anything. These are just a standard padding at the moment, and it's really good for them. So if you've got a fast road pad or a track pad in it, yeah, you're gonna have no issues with fade. They have faded slightly on like a prolonged period of driving, but not bad in any way really. Weight is around the 1200 kilogram mark for these. So the weight for a modern car is actually really low, which compared to Golf GTIs, they're quite a heavy car. You're probably looking at something like 150, 200 kilograms heavier than this, so the same sort of power point. So it really is sprightly on its feet. You can feel it moving all the time, but it gives you confidence. It's just a really confidence-inspiring little car. The steering as well is the most cliche thing about a Mini, the go-kart handling, and it is fantastic. It's electric, but it feels hydraulic. It feels like a hydraulic system. It gives you lots of feedback on what the car's doing. Really good. I'd like to compare this with a GP, because they are just different cars. But I'd like to see the differences of what's changed on a GP compared to a JCW like this. What's good about this car is it doesn't throw a hissy fit when you left foot brake. It's a bit gimmicky, but you have got this sequential shifting down here, which is quite cool. The gearbox is really good as well. It's really responsive, so the moment you press the pedal, it is going up a gear. I had a few worries because it is a 2015 car. I didn't know if the gearbox would be a little bit slow, but it's been able to handle everything that's been thrown at it today. Very, very capable car. I said I was going to be surprised by this car. But I think the tyres are probably the limiting factor.
Yeah, I have felt that. Here they don't. Like once you push a tiny bit, it starts to slip.
You can feel the front end starting to wash out slightly, so you are going to have to come back off the power and go back on it. I mean, yeah, we're not in perfect conditions here. In the dry, I don't think you'd have any issues.
No, it's quite stable.
When it gets a bit slimy, the way the torque band is, it doesn't wheel spin, which is nice. The steering wheel, if you look here, we've got this plastic here, which is nice. Well, it just gets in the way. Like, I feel like it should have been cut off like there, so then you can actually get full grip on the steering wheel. And I do turn on the radio when I'm in a spirited manner of driving. I've turned on the radio, it feels so refined, just driving about all the time.
So what are you planning on doing to it then? I want to get bigger tyres on it, so move it to 225s on it. I definitely want to upgrade the rear brakes because they are quite a limiting factor because they're pretty shit. I've seen people recommend is they put like a solid rear pad on and like a base, like what pads I've got on now. The front keeps it stable in the braking.
I mean, you can definitely feel the fronts. You can feel the fronts, and they're getting hot quick, and you can't feel the rears doing much, to be honest. So
when braking downhill as well, especially under speed, you feel the car trying to overtake itself because obviously the front is gripping so much more than the rear is.
It doesn't feel too bad. It just, you can feel the fronts doing all the work, and there's no massive assistance from the rear, which would be ideal. Take a bit more strain off the front brakes, but it's such a capable car. The steering is definitely the thing that everyone bangs on about with these, and it's as good as people say it is. It's really, really darty, and it's the way that the power kicks in with this car. It works so well. It's not loads of low down torque, so you really can just chuck it in, apply the power, and you're not going to get loads of wheel spin or anything like that. And because it's got the E-diff, it puts the power down really, really well, so you're not going to have that unpredictability of what's it going to do when I apply a bit of power mid-corner. It sticks, but it's a really, really rewarding car to drive. It's spot on.
What would you compare it to?
It's like a mix of the ST and the TCR. The steering is more ST inclined. It's not as fast as the ST, which in a way is a better thing because that thing was like hard to keep in your lane, but it has more feel than the TCR did. With this tuning box, it's about the same power as that ST. These are really good cars, aren't they? They've got good tuning capability, which I didn't think was a thing, because I know the R56, I know this is not an R56, but they have issues.
Yeah, they're plagued with like carbon deposits and stuff.
Yeah, so
there's Peugeot engine there.
Like the torque, that's the only thing at the moment that I'm not amazed by. It feels a bit flat low down, and then once it gets into its ideal place for torque, it really is quick. Yeah.
Would you say there's any bad bits about it? Well, not bad bits, but things that it could improve on.
I think, yeah, so the torque is not a bad thing, but it could be improved. For me, the driving position is a bit, I'd like the seat lower or the steering wheel higher. Either one I'm not too, I think the seat maybe a little bit lower, but the steering wheel needs to be higher. I feel like the steering wheel needs to be, probably the middle of the steering wheel needs to be about here. Because I feel like when I'm sat here, it's like my rib cage down here. Like,
so what you're saying is,
halfway down my rib cage,
someone from my height, I'd probably like
a midget like yourself. Yeah, you'd be sound. You'd be alright. Steering wheel as well. That thing, I can't get my actual hand around it. It's just like smooth at the back. I need something to grip onto to really feel.
I think it might be a bit better with the manual, because I think the paddle's probably.
Yeah, I guess the paddle. What we were saying when we did the interior a bit earlier was, because everything's so clustered here that you struggle, like, because obviously you've got your indicator stalks and your wiper stalks here. there's not much space there for the paddles to move back.
No,
if you had the steering wheel further forward a bit, the paddles could then be on a sort of on the column instead of on the wheel.
Pro steering wheels, they do. I don't know how much of a difference that probably makes, but it does look a bit thicker, like the actual wheel rim as well, so I think that might help.
I think the thing is that it's not too thin. I think that's perfect. It's just that there. I can't get my hands around the back, so I'm sort of having to like, I've got a gap in between my hands.
The way I've learned to drive it is sort of like that, so your fingers are like on the back of it. I really like the sequential sort of thing. That's like, it's a bit of a gimmick, but it's fun to do. I'm really impressed with it. The interior levels, fantastic. It's unique, it's quirky. It doesn't look like every other car manufacturer's modern cars on the inside. It's got its identity. The handlings that stand out, easily the standout thing. I think it's like a go-kart. The most cliched mini sentence in the world, but it is like that, and it does live up to that. It's really, just
really good. Yeah, it literally is. Its nose, it's so pointy, and the moment you put it into somewhere, it goes exactly where you want it to.
Would you recommend people to buy one?
Absolutely.
How much are these roughly?
So I got this August 21, so when used car prices were a bit stupid, for about just shy of 17 grand for this spec.
Okay.
So they do tend to hold value pretty well, these. So you're looking around 13 for like a pop spec, entry model sort of John Cooper Works, to about 25 grand if you want something good spec. You are looking sort of
Fiesta ST prices, aren't you?
It's around that.
So they are an ideal rival, really, because they've got a bit more power standard than an ST, haven't they?
Yeah, what I think, like, the way I've always described them is it's like a middle ground between an ST and a Golf GTI, like base GTI. Because like it's got the power of the GTI, but it's got the size and compact of the ST.
It's a really good all-rounder. It does everything well. The boot's poor.
The boot
is very poor. That I don't.
It's still a mini in that.
It's definitely mini in that. Yeah, it's a mini in that. But
the back seats.
Yeah, the back seats are a bit.
Like I'm not a tall person, but I'm struggling here.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to. I could definitely couldn't go behind me.
No. You know what it is actually? It's not necessarily the space you have. It's how low the seats are. My feet don't go underneath the seat.
Do they not?
Like I'm stuck.
Oh right.
My feet are stuck. But then you're not buying a Mini to have a family of 7 in it, are you?
No, that's true. But it is basically a 3-seater now. You can't get behind me.
Yeah, that's true.
It is one of them where it is a bit cramped inside.
It's more of a 2x2, isn't it?
It is really. It is a 2-seater.
Baby, I go Heathrow more than the man goes petrol station. Too white,